Welcome to Freewheeling. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patnankar. Last week, you got a chance to really get up close to the brand Jaguar, capture all its history and all the legacy that it carries with it. But I did promise you that the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as it were, which means that we're going to get these glorious cars out on the open road and now talk about the performance that makes up the brand Jaguar.
Flowing lines, sheer elegance, prime quality interiors, and a certain air of sophistication. That's the XJ sedan from Jaguar. The car needs to be all those things as it competes with rivals like the BMW 7 Series, Audi A8, and Mercedes-Benz S-Class.
Given the segment that the XJ operates in, it has all those features that you would expect from a sedan in this particular class, and it is on par with most of its big German rivals. In fact, it tries to outdo some of those cars as well by adding in just a little bit of that extra modern touch. And so you get a lot of digital interfaces on this car, including the instrument cluster, which is a virtual digital instrument cluster. The fact that, of course, this car also has the gear shift that pops up when you start the car, that's always cool and always impresses people. Quality of materials is pretty impeccable too. It's got a little bit of a retro feel in terms of just the way the AC vents and some of the dials are done. Also the clock, a little bit of that chrome is also something that a lot of buyers appreciate. Looks high-end too. Now, the information system as well as the entertainment system is all sort of concentrated onto the screen. That is typically like most others as well, but while it is a touch screen and it's cool in the sense that you have actually two views on the screen. There's a dual view, so the passenger can actually watch TV while the driver, just gets to see information display. So while that's a little bit cool and very different, the only downside is that it's got so many features and it's got so much of a heavy-duty menu to navigate through that it gets a little bit complicated at times.
The XJ is the flagship of the Jaguar range and has been since 1968. Subsequent upgrades and new models have been fairly successful, but it was the third generation which brought in a very advanced car. The X350 used aluminium architecture and efficient engines, but perhaps failed to impress buyers since it looked too much like its predecessor. The new fourth generation XJ arrived in 2009. It was in keeping with the design language that Ian Callum had embarked on for Jaguar as a brand with the smaller XF, which had debuted 2 years earlier.
Well, one of the challenges is to convince everybody we're doing the right thing. And, there's a lot of questions being asked, which is good, as long as we have the right answers. And I can explain the design of a Jaguar quite clearly and feel very strong about it and not worry about whether it's the right thing or not. But it's convincing people that this apparent change of direction is going to continue in the same way, in the same vein. The spirit is going to continue. And certainly there are aspects of Jaguar which we have to improve, and we are improving constantly, the quality and everything else. That has to continue. So it's about convincing people that what we're doing is right, and it will continue in that way, and it won't suddenly change again. We're laying a new foundation effectively, and we're going to build on it. It's hard work. That's a challenge. It's all hard work. We have to keep energy going. We have to keep the energy moving on. There's enough spirit in the business, and I certainly have enough enthusiasm to keep things motivated. So we just keep going. And we understand, we really analyze these values. It's about what was an E-Type like in the 60s? What did it stand for? What made it that great? And it's about purity and simplicity. And it's about statement. If you look at all of Sir William Lyons' cars, they all had a statement to make. And what he did was very clever. He just exaggerated something a little bit more. With the SS100, the wheel arches were just a bit bold and everything else. with the 120, the line was just smoother than anything else. With the E-Type, you know, needless to say, it was just more exaggerated than anything else.
If the XF had impressed with its sheer good looks, the stately appeal of the XJ had many flaws, especially in markets like China and Russia.
China is now the second largest market for the company, and that's pretty phenomenal. We're looking at building a joint venture in China, and no one earlier would have expected that China would be a major market of that nature.
The XJ that sells in emerging markets is the long wheelbase or XJL variant. It is very high-end in its trim and quality, and so for once, I too decided to drive the longer variant. I headed out into the northern English countryside and made my way to Wales.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.